We're on the business end of this 24 Sherpa now. This is the working deck up here on the front of this landing craft. You can see we've got our bow door. Underneath this plate, there's actually a dive ladder in here, but they've got it covered just to eliminate that trip hazard. But you can see all we have to do is undo these locks right here, and there's a control inside the cabin where we can drop this bow door down. Push knees on the front. This is going to a canal authority back in New York. There's 3 of these boats actually headed that way. But they load these big barges there with excavators and lumber and all kinds of stuff. They maintain these canals back there in New York. So they use these boats to push some of those barges around and help maneuver those boats around. You can see our storage here on the sides has these nice hatches so you can enclose stuff in there and keep your dock lines or whatever in there. Another one on this side. And these are removable too. So if you want to pull these off and stow them, you certainly can. And then we've got a 1,000-pound davit right here. And nice thing about this can be pulled out with one person and shoved right in over here. So you can trade sides with that, move that back and forth. Got more Raptor decking up here. This Raptor deck is nice. It's not so aggressive that it tears up your deck shoes. If you've got really aggressive tread on the decks, it just tears up the bottom of your shoes, and you can burn through some of these deck shoes in a pretty short amount of time. This seems to be just about right. You can see our tie downs here. Nice big robust tie downs. Cleats both sides. We've got access doors both sides, dive doors right there, and they did these on both sides too, so if they're pulling oil boom like that, they can run that oil boom right on through here. Let's close that back down again. Silverback Marine is located in Tacoma, Washington. We're right here on the waterfront here in Tacoma, the working waterfront here. And this boat is going to be doing its fair share of work, I tell you what, on the East Coast. It's got a 3 kW gen set inside there to run the AC. It's got an AC unit. You know the humidity, legendary humidity back there on the East Coast in the summertime. So to alleviate some of the discomfort for the operators of this boat, they've got an AC unit, Webasto AC unit, Webasto diesel furnace, and that 3 kW generator in there as well. See our direct bond windows, forward leaning windshield. Look at these lookup windows in here. These are sweet. When we get inside the cabin, you'll see how much light those let in. This cabin is powder coated. It's just a really tough, durable covering on this cabin, and just a great setup. You can see we've got rigid LED lights. That's a directional light up there as well. And if we move down the side, we've got starboard everywhere to protect the sides here. And on the outside, you can see from the drone, there's strakes here too. The whole outside is covered with starboard as well. Back here, this is a European style transom. You see how we've got our sponsons. They kind of wrap around these outboards. They not only protect the outboards, they also give us some flotation back here as well. And speaking of outboards, we've got Mercury 200 horsepower SEAPROs. These are a commercially rated outboard. Mercury power heads are commercially rated and validated anyway, but the lower units on these SEAPROs are validated at 3 times that of a recreational outboard. So these things are tough, and they're going to be put to work there on the East Coast, and no doubt they will perform. You can see our outboard rack on the back here. This can be placed in 2 different positions. We've got fair leads here. We've got a tow post in here. They've actually got a cage over this back window. So when they're towing logs and moving stuff up and down the canal, if they did break a cable or break a tow line, they're not going to blow out this back windshield. This is a really good idea. Again, just a straight up hardcore work boat that's going to be putting in the work on the East Coast. Overhead, we've got an overhang here, more lighting, another rigid LED light here, and yeah, great looking setup here. Let's step inside the cabin. We've got sliding doors both sides. Right here, we've got another one over here on starboard, just in case you do want to pull into a dock here and jump out that side. This seat here actually folds up right there, and this seat is overbuilt. You can see the plating they used in here for this fold-up seat, because they're going to be stacking bags and gear and shackles and all kinds of stuff on here, so they really beefed up this seat in here. We've got hooks in here for hanging gear. We've got a little storage pocket up here for your life jackets and PFDs and whatnot. And we've got HD sea decking in here everywhere as well. You can see the HD on the floor, overhead. It really quiets down this cabin, warms it up in here. And here we've got our lookup windows in here. They call them spotter windows. Again, you can see the direct bonded direct bond windows. They're really slick and really tidy up this cabin. Really nice setup. Now here's the surprise in here. These are saddle seats. These are European style saddle seats. They didn't have enough room in here for 2 air rides, so they went with these saddle seats. They figured, you know, the guys are going to be standing up operating this boat anyways most of the time. So they went with these saddle seats. This is my first time riding one of these, but they're actually kind of comfortable. And this boat performs really well. We just had it up to 45 miles an hour a minute ago. Corners really well. And these seats, you know, they're going to be working on a canal, so they're not going to really need this this air ride effect here, but these are pretty comfortable. And the fact of the matter is, they're not going to be putting long runs in anyway. They're going to be working out of this boat and probably standing most of the time. You know, you can see the headroom in here, great visibility, really a nice setup. If you look right down here, we've got remote battery switches in here. Come right in the door, hit your remote battery switches right there. This is our gen set control down below. Up here we've got our diesel fuel gauge, MFD, and the MFD is on the side over here where the navigator is going to sit. All of our switching, VHF radio, fusion stereo. Of course, our diesel furnace is cranking here right now. Love this right here. This is kind of a new thing that our electronics manufacturers are coming out with. It's just a remote control so that you don't have to touch the screen. You're trying to drive and get your fingers all over the screen. You can just work the dials right here and manipulate your MFD. Of course, here's our ramp controls right here to run that bow door up and down. We've got windshield wipers, of course, got to have those. And then these SEAPROs actually are outfitted with a jack plate as well. So if they get into some really shallow water in the river or in the canal, they can run that jack plate up and down and really bring those motors way up. They do have a Revolution X 17 pitch 4-blade props on there that just get up and go. Get this thing out of the hole right now. We're just running this boat and it really jumps up on step quickly. Gen 2 controls for Mercury Marine. We've got our Mercury vessel view gauge right here. We've got all of our Mercury data right here where it's easily viewable. And then of course we've got a tilt wheel as well. If you want to stand, you just tilt this wheel up like so. Got great visibility in here to stand, operate this boat, or you can sit as well like that. You got a steering knob here. You know, it's going to take some getting used to with these saddle seats, but again, I don't know if they're going to be sitting down a whole lot in this boat anyway. This is a work boat, and I can see them kind of standing up here like so and working in the canal, you know, pushing barges with those knees up there, loading stuff, hauling stuff, towing stuff. You know, I'm not sure if the guys are going to be spending a whole lot of time sitting down here on big long runs. I want to show you really quick. We've got this F-bench seat folded up now, and now we can get through this deck plate right here and get to some of the systems down below. We've got our water intake right here to run the water-cooled AC unit. All of the systems are down here. Our 3 kW generator, furnace, and AC unit as well. You can see we've got a power shutoff as well right here. That's all accessed right through this deck plate. Easy to get to and work on. All right, let's just go ahead and run through some performance numbers and stuff with these Mercury 200 horsepower SEAPROs. They've got those Revolution X 17 pitch 4-blade props. Really grab that water and get this thing up on step. A little bit of bow rise, but we're over the hump already. Jumped right up here. Those props are really designed for getting a boat like this up on step. I mean, this boat could be running heavy. They want to carry lumber on this, it sounds like. That's why they've got the cabin offset a little bit. They could be carrying debris up here that they're collecting out of that canal. And so those props are really designed for this type of a boat. This is the first day this boat has actually been in the water. So some of the systems, they're still working through some of this stuff. You see we don't have our speed up here, but luckily we've got vessel view on Eric's phone. 28 miles an hour, 3,600 RPMs, really good cruise speed, and a lot more RPMs to go. Let's go ahead and get a top speed, kind of cruise around here to port, and we'll get top speed back here in some of this calmer water. These things corner really well too. Pretty impressed with how this thing corners. Let's just take a hard corner right here. No cavitation whatsoever. Absolutely just rips in the corners. Saddle seats, they take a little bit of getting used to, but if you had to make some evasive maneuvers like this, these things really hold you in place. You don't have to worry about flying out of the seat with these saddle seats. This is what they're designed for. Let's get top speed in here. Let's get in behind the point, see what we can get for top speed. We had this up to 45 miles an hour earlier, and let's just see what we can do with these SEAPROs. I'm going to trim them up a little bit, put some trim on them. Okay, let's grab Vessel View Mobile. There we go. And these SEAPROs, the lower units are validated at 3 times that of a recreational outboard. So really strong commercial grade engine.